Okay, so here is the ErgoDox 76. It's an ergonomic keyboard. This is the bare bones kit. They come as a non-bare bones kit, meaning you get switches and keycaps. This is the bare bones version here. There's also a few different colors. This is a nice translucent kind of acrylic. And then, to put it up, you have the see-through, because it's acrylic, see-through acrylic, and then black. Like that. Again, this is probably completely optional depending on your surface. If you had a nice mouse mat, desk pad, whatever, you'd be fine. I do have one, but when I film, I don't use it, so. Okay, so that's that there. Here's some servicing equipment. So let's start doing the keycaps, key switches. These are a Bluebird switch, which I just happen to have on hand from another review. And you can see it's a standard 2-pin. See that there? So let's come back, and when I'm done this part, and we'll get to the keycap part. Okay, key switches installed. The Bluebird. Yeah, I got some cool, actually got them open box on Amazon. They're glorious keycaps. And then also, like, these are the ones that are obvious. And then I don't know where the rest go. And I also have this cool, like these trays. So this is like a Lego project. It's weirdly satisfying. I don't necessarily know why there's more than one. I guess it depends. Oh, because it depends which side. So I could go right side or left side. That's why. So this will be left unabandoned because I'm using a laptop on the right. Or you could go to the other side. So I think this should just be plug and play. So when you're trying to put this together, you can do it by fun Lego style and just, I don't know, take your time trying to figure it out. Or you can go to the VIA website. So I went to the VIA website. VIA is an open source software and allows you to configure different components of the keys. You can actually configure this keyboard. It's not locked in with this configuration. Okay, and here's where some of the fun part comes, customization. So we have some of these other buttons here, for example, MT, whatever, doesn't matter. Over here we had a couple that were something else. It was MT something. I turned it into volume up. I put a volume up button there, put a volume down button here, so I can click on that. What do I want that to be? I want it to be volume down, volume up. Okay, volume up, volume down. I want to make that button there be, what do we want that to be? Power? Can I make it actually like power off the device? I don't want to do that though. You might want to, yeah, to be honest, you probably want to get official ones, I would say, just because they're going to fit better. And then you can get some, like, you know, these can be in the letters in the center there if need be. But you can certainly buy their keys because they're like slightly, you know, more unique or whatever. But it's just something to be aware of, you know, that you can customize them to some degree. But if you get like custom keycaps, these are custom keycaps, glorious random keycaps, they may not potentially fit with, you know, this keyboard, how you want to set it up. You may want to grab a set of these guys' actual keycaps. The reason is these are not standard necessarily. So I grab here a glorious set of just aftermarket keycaps. They don't necessarily contain all of the unique sizes here that this one would have here. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. These guys are going to have keycaps that fit everything. So if you're going to have like neutral ones especially, or even filler, you can just fill them in. With the glorious sets, you may not have one size. You may be getting a case where you get one singular keycap that doesn't fit everything. So maybe on the glorious here, for example, you get a Windows key that's this size. You don't get a small one or a bigger one. The tab key might be an issue. Maybe you're going to get, maybe the shift key. Some keycap sets, you know, you're going to get a shift key like that. Some keycap sets, you might get a shift key like that. Some of you might get one like that. That's going to make a difference for where you put it on here and how they fit. Just be aware of that. Whereas if you get something like, if you get their keycap set, at least you know that you have all your bases covered right off the bat. And then if you have potentially a non-standard one, or, you know, something that doesn't necessarily work, maybe that's an issue. So here, you know, this glorious one has a Windows key that's that size and a Windows key that's that size. It does not have more than one shift key size, right? It has this shift key size here, it has this shift key size here, but it's missing a full length shift key, like the big one, right? This one happens to have an enter key like that, and a plus key like that, but it doesn't have a backspace, for example, like that. Let's try that. Oh, there you go. That's it. So I made it RGB mode is what it was over here. So that's the one to change it. There's so many different options here, but now it's lots of different options. You can come in here. These keycaps look pretty cool because the RGB shines through really nicely. I'm really good at making sound effects. So obviously part of what makes this interesting is that it's separated, so you can move them around as you want. So obviously if they're very close, you know, a keyboard potentially for me, which is a serious problem, I often find that when a keyboard is close like this, I have to do this and type, and eventually if I type for a while it causes carpal tunnel type symptoms, right? Whereas for me, a larger keyboard's better, but for me, because I'm my size, it would actually be better to type like that. So if I'm using this flat like that, maybe I can go and tilt them slightly away, which for my wrist direction, based on my shoulder width and my size, is much more ergonomic for me to type like this than to type on some tiny little thing like this. But I've used these key switches on different keyboards. These things feel very sturdy. This resin, acrylic material, lots of bolt type material, lots of bolts around it to make it feel nice and structured. Very sturdy, no wobble. And so the actual typing experience should feel very structured too. So let's do a little type. I don't know where the space bar is. That's not the space bar. That's the space bar. Okay, I'm going to practice for a few minutes and come back. Okay, so what do I think about these ErgoDox 76? It's the next day. I played with them for several hours and I started to get the hang of it. For me, it's a little weird at first because I am a semi-touch typist. However, I do have some cases where, here, we'll bring another keyboard to show you what I mean. I do have some cases where I tend to go over, so rather than, you know, keeping this finger over here, sometimes I might have a wanderer that comes over and crosses the line. So that would be something that would be an issue for me. It was an issue for me in the beginning. I got used to it, but I'm like, this one's trying to get to the B key or the G key, and it's like, it's way over here. So in the first little while of using it, that was a little weird, but it only took me, honestly, like 2 or 3 minutes to really start to get rid of that. I think if you use this keyboard as well, it would actually improve your ability as a touch typist as well, because you can't, I mean, you could come over here, but it would be super unergonomic and wasteful. So I think after using this, if you're even like me, like a semi-touch typist, and you use these for a little while, like I'm talking even a day or two, you would actually probably dramatically improve your typing expertise, typing speed, typing accuracy. So it might actually be a good thing for me to just use it for a while, just get the hang of it, kind of improve that. And again, some of it, like having the space key there in the beginning for the first, like, I don't know, minute, felt weird because I was trying to come down further, and I often sometimes use this thumb, and then my brain was just like, no, we just use that. Like, I didn't even end up moving my thumb from here anymore. I just typed and it just sat there, and that was that. Again, enter, right? Enter would be up here, right? So for me to then switch down to enter over here, just switch lines, was something I had to learn, but it took me only a few seconds, right? Like those are both thumb keys. The actual typing experience is very nice. It feels very solid, very premium. I like it quite a bit. No complaints there whatsoever. The only complaints I have about this keyboard are self-induced, where I got these random weird glorious key switches, keycaps that are also somewhat not standard. So some of them don't fit properly, which makes sense. So I would highly recommend, if you buy this keyboard, I would just get the keycaps from them. Get a set, white or black, whatever, as a baseline. Then you can also pick up, you know, third-party OEM key switches like this, because I would probably have, you know, my letter keys in here all standard. I'd probably actually, you know, keep some of these standard, whatever, the numbers, keep them standard because they look nice. But then, you know, some of these other ones over here that are just like whatever buttons, you know, it'd be nice to have some of these other shaped ones, like just have a set of those shaped over there. That's the ErgoDox 76. It's actually very good. I was really worried about it just being hard to use for me, and it was not. I was also, you know, not sure what the quality would be like, and it's fantastic. So there you go. It's the ErgoDox.